Hello, friends. How are you? I suspect that a lot of folks may have not been able to sleep well last night. Maybe this coming evening too, because Mars is in Gemini and now Mercury is in Virgo. So is much more of an active energy, obviously, and Virgo is also very active in things, and with the Moon in Aries it is, through Mars, through Mercury. So we're probably trying to sort problems out and sort things out. And I was up, late, talking with a friend about some various things after being out last evening with some family members. And it was a conversation from previously in the day, and essentially conversation's been happening for a while with him. And we were up late. Now I typically don't have trouble sleeping most of the time. I do tend to fall asleep, rather quickly, but sometimes I do have to wait until late. I'm up until at least midnight, usually 1 o'clock, almost any morning, or yeah, almost any night. It just My body has just found that rhythm, and so that's where I am. And as the day progresses here, I think we might get caught up in some emotional reactivity, because we want things to get fixed. We want things to work, right? That's, Mercury in Virgo. We want things to work. We want things to be maintained. We want things to operate. Are they workable? Does this, again, in Saturn, also in Pisces retrograde, is, if things don't work, we need to, disassemble them. And if just because we feel strange about something doesn't mean it needs to be discarded. But if you've already built something, like I built a little Lego car several weeks ago, and it was a weird little thing, and I was okay with it, and I just had it on my desk. And yesterday I just took it apart. I was like, I, you know, I went through the process and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't getting me where I needed to go. I needed a different vehicle, so to speak, and not exactly sure, what's next. But the one that I had, I guess I was feeling a little weird about the actions that I had taken previously for whatever reason. I mean, I built that, and I had fun putting it together, and but I did start to feel a little odd about it, and I feel somehow less odd about taking it apart and putting it back in the box. It was just a random vehicle that I just kind of threw together with some wheels and little radar dishy things, and it was, windshield. I mean, it's an odd little thing, but I was okay with it, and it doesn't necessarily bother me that I took it apart and now has been reduced back to its base elements again. I think I talked about that yesterday, but so people might be in their heads a bit for a little while here, because Virgo is the sign of, people is kind of anxious people, right? So go do things, something for yourself. Do some self-care today, and in that, maybe do something nice for somebody else. Like, if you think about that, okay, cool, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just do some self-care and roll through the day, and it probably isn't going to go the way you want it to. And I don't like the way that looks, right? I don't want to freaking take some action here and break that. They're like, if you take some action in a situation and it breaks the situation, maybe that needed to break down. Maybe you needed to test out your method, and the method is going to be an ongoing evolutionary process here. Again, Mercury in retrograde. Mercury's in shadow. He's going to be retrograde here, in the next, week or two, and we're going to come back over all this stuff, and it's going to take some time. It's not going to be too long, but it's going to be just enough. So things are going to unwind, and with that, you do have to wind things up so that they can unwind. And it's not going to unwind too far. It's not going to, be cataclysmic? And if it is, did that thing need to stay anyway? You know, and releasing the outcome of things, like how, the way you start something isn't the way it finishes, isn't the way you maintain it. So, yeah, so keep that in mind and, do some self care today.